Hello, people. I forgot how to set this up properly. I haven't done one in so long, I didn't prepare, and I was trying to get Misfits out. I'm just going to leave this here for a minute while I set up. I didn't want you guys. I didn't want you guys to think I was lacking. I literally have Misfits finishing as I speak on the thing right now, so feel free to jump in, talk to me. If anybody is here, I could see the chat, I think. Right? I think. Jump in. Let me know who's here. I'm just finishing Misfits, guys. Whoever is in here. What's up, guys? If you're in here, I'm just setting up. What's up, Daniel D? I haven't talked to you guys in like a month. It's probably been about a month since I did a live stream. I am setting up. Don't mind this. What's up, Ray? I'm just literally Misfits is rendering right now, and I want to get up the second part while I'm doing this so that I could be done with that. We'll talk about Westworld, and then I'll watch the new one at 9. Patreon people will get it in full first because it's obviously it automatically goes right up there. I just don't know why I'm not able to see this video. I want to make sure. I mean, obviously you guys jumped in, but I could not. For some reason, I can't see a link to the video. What is happening? If you guys want, chat it up. I mean, I'll catch up in the chat. You got any questions? There it is. Finally, for some reason, it wasn't popping up. All right. I just like to do that because then I could see what I'm actually looking at. It always looks different on my phone. But while we're waiting for people, because there's still, it's my brother, Daniel D. Who's the third one in here? I know there's 3. But 4 people now. Whoever wants to ask questions, feel free. I totally forgot that my bed is in the shot when I do it live. I'm just going to do a quick, if you guys have any questions, theories, anything, I just want to talk Westworld, or I have literally watched 1,000 movies in quarantine. All these new movies, Bad Boys 3, Into the Wild, Vivarium, The Platform. Any of you guys seen any of these movies? You want to chat about it? Let me know. I'm literally just throwing up Misfits Part 2 real quick, and then you will have my undivided attention. Have you seen Tiger? Ray, I literally have been trying to watch everything everyone might talk about. So I literally watched Tiger King last night. I marathoned the whole series, I guess you'd say. I think it was 6 episodes. All 6 episodes, marathoned it last night with Michelle, and Tiger King was crazy. I feel like the middle got really boring. Mom and Dad watched it, and they watched it first, and they told me we got to episode 3, and they were like done. I feel like 3 was the slowest episode. It was when they really dove into the Carol woman, the woman that was like the root of all evil, if you could say. But they were. You've only seen the first so far. Episode 3, just so you're warned, episode 3 gets a little slow, but then I would say 5 and 6 get crazy again. Like 3 and half of 4 get a little slow. And when I say slow, I mean slower than the rest of that show, but it's all batshit crazy. And I did marathon the whole thing. I knew people would talk about it, and I'm like, I'm going to try to live stream tomorrow. And just in case people talk about Tiger King, I should probably check it out. I only planned on seeing 1 or 2 episodes, and I ended up watching all of it. So that goes to show what happens. All right, let me just switch this over. I can load Misfits Part 2. What did you think of it? Right, you just didn't have time to watch the rest of Tiger King, or did you just not? Were you? I'm assuming it was. I mean, if you saw episode 1 and 2 are very entertaining, so I imagine you just ran out of time. Throw this up. All right, Misfits is loading. I forgot how much songs Misfits has, and I already got copyright claimed on the parts I already did because of music. And for me to go back through and edit out the music isn't even worth it. So it looks like I'm copyright claimed but I don't care. It makes it's easier and faster for me to edit if I just do it with the music. So I won't make a couple dollars, but who cares? What's up, Steve John? Steve John, I feel like you've been in chat before, Steve. Am I wrong? Your name looks familiar, but I haven't been on live stream in a month or more. Steve John looks familiar, though. Save this. Sorry, guys. I just didn't want to. If I don't finish this before Westworld, I'll probably never get it out. Boop. All right. Hey, guys. What's up, Steph? I have Steve John. I knew your name was familiar. Yes. Just started it yesterday. All right. Once this loads, I'll be able to get the chat up there. Should I leave the chat up here like that? Or should I put it over here? I don't know. Why haven't you did live stream? Steve, I was doing it for football. And when football ended, I was going to do basketball. Then the Oscars and Daytona came. And then coronavirus shut down the NBA. So my thing was, you sound like a commercial. I don't know if that was directed to this. Hey, Steph, why haven't you did live? Yeah, I don't know if, what was I going to say? I was going to try to do it for sports because I figured sports are a good way to kind of have background that you could bullshit about, but also talk about whatever you want. So I figured that it would be the best way to do it would be sports related things. But as you guys could see, there are no sports. I was going to do UFC, boxing, threw some NASCAR in. I was going to do XFL and NBA. XFL season done. NBA is suspended. God knows how long. I don't know where they're going to make up that shit. Major League opening day was canceled. WrestleMania is canceled. Olympics are canceled. This is the first one I'm doing since the quarantine happened. So it's good to see Steph's here, Daniel D. I hope you're all safe and well. But yeah, I figured I was finishing Misfits. Westworld's on in less than an hour. I watch it. I was curious if you guys do. Any of you guys watch it? I don't know if you guys even watch it. What happened to my... Oh, that was in my Zelda shirt. I thought my Zelda shirt ripped. It looks fine there. As long as you're comfortable looking at the camera there, I would just leave it. I enjoy the freeform live streams more anyway. Are you going to do Cobra Kai? Steve John, I am highly anticipating Cobra Kai. I'll get Cobra Kai out probably faster than any show on my channel. You guys see the YouTube stuff is a little slow because I've been focusing so much on Patreon and I've been trying to get enough backlogged in Patreon that I could literally, at this point, I have like 100 videos I could edit up. So now my goal was to have a backlog in case I can't record or I don't feel like recording or my camera breaks something. I'll have plenty. And I wanted to get ahead for Patreon so people have an advantage to subscribe to Patreon on top of the full reactions. But I ended up getting way farther ahead than I wanted. I'm like, some shows I'm like 2 seasons ahead of what's on YouTube. But eventually I'll finish it and then YouTube will have to catch up. The only one that's going to be a lot far ahead is Adventure Time. I'm already halfway through season 2, or maybe a quarter of the way through season 2. And I don't even get half of season 1 up yet. By the time season 1 gets up on YouTube, I'll probably be on season 4 of Adventure Time. But it's not like I'm hating on it. It works because people are getting bonuses on Patreon, and that's the point. What's up, J Skills? Well, I guess it's easier on Patreon too. Just watch and upload, and you're dead. That's the thing. People have made like negative comments on the channel, like, yeah, you're all about the money now. That's why everything's Patreon. Patreon, I literally watch it and immediately just upload it to Patreon. It involves no work. I literally watch it. It immediately goes up. The second I watch it, you guys get it. It takes 10 minutes to upload. That's it. But it isn't like, nope, I'm greedy and want money. It's that I have to spend 2 hours to edit it up for YouTube, and YouTube's free. And like I said, it's not about the money, but I'm doing 2 hours worth of work for free content, whereas Patreon, people actually pay, and it takes me no effort. So basically, I don't know what that is. People are texting me from the channel on the thing while I'm reading. Suicide Squad Kid. What's up, Jay? What is up, buddy? That's got to be a new name. How do I know you as? I feel like that name is not the usual name you use. Suicide Squad Maybe it is. I don't know. I feel like that name is a different, slightly different than what you were last time. Unless you're a totally different person and you're just shouting out to me. Sorry, I'm fixing my shirt because I'm getting ready to do Westworld in 45 minutes, and I hate the way my sleeves look if I don't roll them. But give me a second. Misfits is halfway through the rendering stage. So once Misfits is done, I can set the camera up different, although I don't really mind this. I apologize for my bed. Michelle had a problem with her apartment, and I didn't do anything in my room today. I didn't fix anything up. Is Michelle in the chat? I don't even know. Is Michelle here? Been watching the DCEU movies all day. Horror fan kid. I knew it had to be. When I saw Suicide Squad, I'm like, it's got to be DC fan or horror fan. I just wasn't sure what you were going by, and I didn't want to put words in your mouth in case. Welcome, horror fan or DC fan or whatever the new name you like to use is. I am going, all right, Misfits just finished. Let me, you guys feel free to chat. I'm just going to copy and paste the end card so I can launch it. So whoever wants to see Misfits can do so. So feel free to comment. I will catch up in 2 seconds, guys. By the way, it's good seeing all of you. I haven't, like I said, I haven't talked to all of you in like a month. So at least we could establish some banter. I figured there wouldn't be a lot of people. I thought people might see Westworld and like be like, oh, the show's about to start. Let's go chat it up. But it also, people might just be quarantined and watching YouTube videos and stuff. That aren't I. Give me 1 more second, guys. I just got to do all the copy and pasting on the video. Bink, bink, bink. I have it down to a science where I could do it really quick, but there's just a lot of, I got to do the end card, I got to do the intro, I got to do the tags, and then I got to do the title. So I'm pretty quick with it, but it's just time consuming. This is the last thing. I just got to do the title. All right, guys. There we go. Save. All right. If you guys want Misfits, it's out. Boom. All right. Now I can go back to the chat. I can log in. Sorry, guys. So who is caught up on Misfits? I mean, Misfits. Who's caught up on Westworld? Who's talking Westworld with me? Who's seen movies? I was saying before, I have seen a ton of movies, guys. Like, just yesterday, I watched parts of Into the Wild, Bad Boys 3, The Platform, Vivarium. I watched Tiger King. But all week long, I've just been, while I edit, I just throw up tons of new stuff. And everything is on demand now because of the fact that there are no movie theaters open. Everything's getting rushed to demand. So it actually worked out where I mean, I have the A-list pass, so I can see all movies for free anyway, but I guess it kind of worked out somewhat. My dad's ordering me the Chase Roman. Let me get the chat up on here. Boop. I'm going to bring the chat up on the screen because I have to keep leaning in like I'm an old man. All right, there I am. Where is the chat? Pop-up chat. There we go. All right. I'm just going to read the chat over here because it's easier and I don't have my glasses. Is that the season 3 finale of Misfits? Steph, I'm up to Patreon is the finale this week. Season 3 finale this week. I'm doing Misfits for YouTube. I'm on season 2, episode 2 on YouTube. So I'm finishing season 3. That goes to show how far ahead I am. I'm going to be starting season 4 next week, and I've just started season 2 on YouTube. So I'm basically 2 seasons ahead on Patreon. But yeah, I'm trying to chop them up. I feel bad. I have so many shows that I'm trying. Like last week, I got one of every show, and I have 8 shows total that I've been doing. Always Sunny's still going up. I still have Adventure Time, Deadwood, Misfits. I don't know, Westworld, Curb Your Enthusiasm just ended. If you add them all up, there's like 7 or 8 shows that I've been sporadically throwing up on YouTube. So last week I had a ton of time. I did one of every show just to show people I'm still like alive and doing it, but it took all my free time. So this week I barely got Misfits out. That's the only one I did besides Westworld and Curb Your Enthusiasm, but those come out almost the same day. So I've been trying my best to get what I can out. I think I did an Adventure Time this week too. I'm pretty sure I did Adventure Time. So I'm gonna try to do My Little Pony tomorrow, maybe do another Deadwood, but it's like there's just so much I'm trying to catch up on. I mean, don't get me wrong, the quarantine is allowing me to get tons of stuff done. I'd be even further behind, but I'm getting there. You guys most of you are Patreon, so you have everything in full, unedited. But I'm just trying to be fair and get stuff out to YouTube. Not that I owe anybody anything, but people literally keep making comments like, I knew you'd be like people are calling me like, not people, like 1 or 2 comments saying you're a sellout because you're all about the money now. Because I formed a Patreon and I'm trying to explain to people that's just there for people that wanted early access when I don't have time. They have an option. It's not like I'm like, that's it, no more YouTube, everything Patreon. It's a hassle to please everybody, but now let me go back. My dad's ordering me the Chase Roman Pop from Birds of Prey and Deadshot Masked from Suicide Squad. The Chase Roman Pop. I don't know what that is. What is the Chase Roman Pop from Birds of Prey? Which one was Roman? You got to elaborate because I'm blanking on that. You get a chance to check out I'm Not Okay With This. Ray, I have not. I thought it was great. I definitely got to check out, if any of you have seen I Am Not Okay With This. I think that's the one Ray told me with Beverly from the It movies, the new It movies. Black Mask. Okay, that's what I thought. Wasn't sure. But yes, Black Mask was very good in that movie. So you're getting the, oh, okay, the regular one. I'm assuming it's the Ewan McGregor one. And Stan Lee? Is it Stan? Well, that's DCE. Oh my God, I'm sorry. How was Bad Boys 3 compared to the previous 2? Been such a long time. Jay Skills, I would say it was, people are saying Bad Boys 3 is just as good as the original 2. I beg to differ. The original 2, it had the feel of the original 2. I'll give them that. I'll give them credit, and I'm not saying it was a bad movie. All I'm saying is they were so, like, Martin Lawrence specifically was so out of his, like, element. Will Smith looked just like Will Smith, slightly aged, but just like he did in part 2. Martin Lawrence looks like he aged 20 years because he did, and he put on weight, and they used, like, it almost looked like they used weird prosthetics on his neck and stuff to make him look less fat or to kind of smooth out his fatness. And I don't know, something about it, he like glistened. Whenever it showed him, he was like chubby and had a big fat neck, and it would like glisten. Like he would just like shimmer in the light. And it almost looked like they had prosthetics or like some sort of makeup on him that was causing it. I don't know, but it was kind of taking me out of the movie. And then they made a lot of ridiculous like moves in the movie. Like they'd be going one way and then all of a sudden they're like, this happened because of this. And you're like, I don't know if I buy that. I mean, it like made for an entertaining movie, but a lot of it, like, I don't want to spoil it for those who haven't because it just came out, like, I think it's not even been out a week and it went right to demand. It was in theaters, actually. It was in theaters for a while. So people should have time to see it. But I definitely enjoyed it. They made a couple of moves I did not like. And then they made other moves that really didn't make a whole lot of sense. They also brought in, this isn't really spoiling Bad Boys 3 because they show it in all the trailers, but they bring in this group of 3 young kids. And they even showed in the trailer, they're like singing the Bad Boys theme song and stuff. It was like kind of too much and forced where like, the only one I liked out of the 3 was the girl. The girl was like this badass little, like she was very pretty, but she also was like a tough little badass. And she's the only one of the 3 I liked. The one guy, just all he did was your mama jokes. And the other guy had like a bad breakup and was very like sensitive. So whenever you'd like yell at him, he'd be like a whipped puppy. So like both those guys were totally unnecessary. The girl was a badass, but like it was like they were basically trying to say this is the Bad Boys remix version. We have help now because we're old and washed up. That's pretty much what I gathered. And I didn't want that. I wanted ridiculous Michael Bay, over the top, two old cops like Lethal Weapon just fucking shit up. But no, they had to like kind of make it cheesy, but it still was a very good movie. Don't get me wrong. I still think 1 and 2 are much better. I don't know which one. I seem to think I haven't seen 1 and 2 in a while. But for some reason, I feel like I liked 2 the best out of the 2. I know most people say 1 is the better one, and most people say sequels are never as good as the original. I'd have to rewatch them all, but I feel like in my heart, I like Bad Boys 2 the best. Not positive, but that's just what I think. Are you caught up on The Walking Dead? Daniel D, I'm all caught up on Walking Dead, but I am not reacting to it. It's a show that I used to watch with my mom. You guys all know what happened with my mom. She's doing much better. I thank you all for the comments and the support. But she's home and she's doing like good as good can be, like 95% back to normal. And that's like a show I used to watch with her since the beginning of the show started. So she doesn't want to be on camera, especially with everything that happened. She's not looking her best, I guess you'd say. But I promised her that we'd keep that to our, like, we watch that. Me, her, my sister, sometimes Michelle, and Jesse's boyfriend will join. But we basically, I have enough shows already as it is. So Walking Dead became like a household show with mom and the fam. But I am all caught up. I know tonight it airs, but I do Westworld and then I do the edits. So I usually watch Walking Dead the next day. Like usually my mom and my sister will wait until Monday. And since I don't have the arcade on Monday nights for the last month because of the quarantine, we've been watching it Monday nights like a family. Normally Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm at the arcade all night long, which is why I never get content out. But being as I'm quarantined for at least another 2 weeks to a month, I'm getting tons of content out on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I watch Walking Dead on Monday. So we could chat about it. I'm all caught up. I'm digging it. I don't know if it's as good as last season, but it's definitely watchable and good stuff. I recommend it if people stopped. But the Stan kid from It is also in. Oh, I'm not okay with. Oh, the Stan kid. Stan Uris. Oh, Stan Uris from It is in that show? Is that what you're saying, Suicide Squad? That was what I was saying. I think that's what you're saying. Will Smith is Deadshot. Got that. Oh, good timing. Last movie I saw was Knives Out. The Slarg is in here. You still hear the Slarg? The Slarg has been helping me with My Little Pony stuff. He is obviously a fan of My Little Pony. I watch it on the channel. But welcome. It's the first time I'm actually seeing you outside of like just the chat or the comments. The last movie you saw was Knives Out. I liked it, but I feel like it was a very predictable whodunit. And a lot of people praise it as being the best movie of last year. I don't hate on it, and there's nothing wrong with it, but I didn't even think it should be in the top 10. And I thought it was insanely predictable. Some people told me like, yeah, could you believe like how it ended? And I'm like, yeah, I guessed it in the first 10 minutes. I don't know. I'm not saying, maybe because I watch a lot of movies. You guys watch my reactions. I watch a lot of stuff. So I feel like I guess things sooner than most. And I'm so used to the format of television and movies that I could pretty much like narrow it down to like the 2 or 3 things it could be. And most of the time I'm right. In Knives Out, I don't want to spoil it for people, but the guy who is the killer, I literally, the second he walked in, he made like some kind of gesture. And I'm like, that's the guy because he just did this. Now, maybe I was lucky and what he did had nothing to do with it, but it was the guy. So, and I seem to do that a lot. You guys see like on Life on Mars, all the Patreon shows, you guys get them first and you see my full unedited reactions. And I kind of pick up shit pretty quick. So maybe it's just me, but I feel like Knives Out was a very predictable movie. What's your least favorite DCEU movie, Jay? Least DCEU movie. I'm guessing that counts. That like DCEU, where does DCEU start? Does it start with the Henry Cavill Superman? I think that's the first one, right? I always get like confused with where that actually starts because they've replaced so many Batmans and stuff. I'm pretty sure the DCEU starts with Henry Cavill's Superman. I could be wrong. Let me know. Oh God, that sounds like they're looking to do Bad Boys the Kids version. By the way, guys, speaking of Bad Boys 3, this is maybe a spoiler, but I'm talking about the end credits. There is an end credit scene, and there's going to be a Bad Boys 4. So those of you who thought this was it, like myself, I literally watched it last night, fell asleep, finished it this morning, and I'm like, oh, that was a good movie. Way to tie it all up and sum it up. And then I almost turned it off, and there is an after credit scene, and they're making a Bad Boys 4. And then I looked it up because I'm like, it could have just been like little fan service and it's not really leading up to a fourth. Nope, I looked it up and it's confirmed they're making Bad Boys 4. This one was very successful. They just beat the quarantine. They were in theaters, I think, like December or something like that. So they basically got a full run in the theaters before anything like the quarantine or the virus or anything affected their ticket sales. So I heard it did really good. It got great praise from the critics and the audience. I thought it was great, but they're making a Bad Boys 4. Don't ask me when, but I ain't gonna. That doesn't spoil anything. I didn't say who's in it or who lives or dies or anything, but the after credit scene, there's going to be a Bad Boys 4. I felt the ultimate, same here, I felt the ultimate villain was predictable despite the twist. Still worth a watch, though. Definitely, the Slarg is talking about Knives Out. I definitely agree. It's still worth a watch because there was a couple, even though I predicted the killer, there were one or two twists that were like actually kind of cool. One in particular, I remember, I'm not going to spoil it, but one in particular was actually a pretty awesome twist that I didn't see coming. But it still didn't affect the end result of who was the killer. It was just like something kind of tossed in the mix that had an effect on something. Still worth a watch, though. I sometimes feel like you knew how to solve the Life on Mars episodes before they did at times. I don't know, Jay Skills, did you not predict, like anyone who's seen Life on Mars, the show that I'm doing on Patreon, did any of you pick up on that stuff? I feel like maybe from watching The Wire and being like 5 times over, because I had to edit that whole show in like under a year. So maybe after watching The Wire 5 times over each episode through edits and all, maybe I became really good at cop dramas, because Life on Mars reminds me of like maybe like Curb Your Enthusiasm mixed with The Wire, because it's way more funny than The Wire. But The Wire obviously was intentionally serious. Life on Mars has those serious elements, but a large part of it is humorous, and I love it for that. I love all the characters. Hunt is my favorite. Like the main, what is he? The chief? I always call him Hunt, so I'm assuming he's the chief. I don't know what they call it back then. I'm assuming he's the chief. But Hunt is my favorite. Sam reminds me of Barry, where he like annoys me, but he's the protagonist and you're kind of supposed to like him. But I do like him, but he annoys me a lot more than anybody else. But I guess it's like the ups and downs of following the lead character. But definitely love Life on Mars. I'm almost done. I think I got 5 episodes left. And there's only 2 seasons, so that one's quick. On that note, guys, I'm going to take a shot, because I was waiting all day to take a shot. I didn't want to finish until I didn't want to take one until I finished Misfits. So I'm surprised I don't see Ryan. I thought I'd see Ryan in here. Who else we got? I guess everyone else is here. We got Steph, Jay Skills, Daniel D. Daniel D, I haven't seen you in a while. Maybe you've been commenting. I'm so far behind on comments, too. That's the problem. I got a little bottle of Jack Daniels. This video is sponsored. No, it's not. It's sponsored by me drinking alcohol. This is all I have left in my house. I figured I'd kill this. Well, I'm not going to kill it tonight. It's a little guy, but I don't think I'm going to kill it tonight. That's a lot. I don't want to feel like shit. Do a little half shotter. JPK. Message retracted. I don't know why. Mr. JPK. Don't know what you said, but cheers to Mr. JPK, because I don't know who he is and he's new to the chat. So cheers. I assume you're going to jump into Ashes to Ashes when Life on Mars is over. A lot of people tell me that. How long is it? I know I've asked you guys this before. Is it 1 season or 2 seasons? I think someone said it's not long. But Ashes is an hour-long show, but it's one season or two. I want to jump in, but honestly, I'm gonna be so far ahead on that show. Ashes is an oh, I already read that. I honestly, it's like I'm gonna be so far ahead on Life on Mars. I might take a break just so I could start throwing them up on YouTube, and then I'll jump in Ashes to Ashes. 3 seasons, and it's an hour long. All right, then I will definitely take a break. If it was like one season, I might jump right in. But I honestly want to do, which a lot of you are probably going to be interested in. Somebody commented to me the other day, and I totally forgot, but this is my plan. I want to take a break once Life on Mars is over. I'm going to take a break. Eventually, I'll do Ashes to Ashes, but I want to finish Treme, Treme. Everyone keeps saying after The Wire, you said you were going to take a break and then do The Corner and Treme, which are David Simon series, I guess, that are kind of similar to The Wire. I did say I'd do it, and I want to do it, but I wanted to take a break from The Wire. Now that I took a long enough break, I think when I'm done with Life on Mars, I'm going to do Treme and The Corner. The Corner is only a season. I think Treme is only a season or two. I actually like Ashes to Ashes more than Life on Mars. See, what is it again? Ashes to Ashes was a sequel? Or was it like a remade version for the America? Is that the one? Because I know they made an American Life on Mars, but is Ashes to Ashes that? Or is Ashes to Ashes like a sequel of Life on Mars in the UK? The New Orleans post-Katrina show. Yeah, Steph, that's Treme. Treme is like the New Orleans post-Katrina show that Steph just said. That is Treme, and people said it's David Simon, and it's sort of in the vein of The Wire. I don't know if it's the same people, but I think it's like that kind of show. So that is what my plan is, to do Treme first and The Corner, and then by the time I'm done with those, I'll have already started throwing up Life on Mars on YouTube, and then I'll start doing Ashes to Ashes. And then in the middle of all that, I still got to do Westworld. I still got to finish Deadwood and Misfits. I have Cobra Kai is coming out in like a month, I think. Who knows when Cobra Kai drops? I'm pretty sure it said April, which is in like a couple days is April. I'm pretty sure Cobra Kai said April. If that's the case, then thank God I finished Curb Your Enthusiasm, because Cobra Kai is a 30-minute show, so I'll be able to edit it up. And the best part is Cobra Kai's on Netflix. Cobra Kai's on YouTube, and this season they're making it free. That leads me to believe that I will have no trouble with copyright. And if I do, it'll just be a claim and not a strike. Because whenever a streaming service, specifically YouTube, puts up a free show, they have no quibbles with putting it up on your channel, because anyone could just go watch it on YouTube. The only thing is they might copyright claim it, but I'm going to try to get up, like, not full reactions, but they're 30 minutes. I'm probably going to do 2-parters again, even though it's a 30-minute show, and I said I was only going to do 1-parters for 30-minute shows. I think I'm going to do 2 and just get them up as quick as possible, because the more parts I do, the less I have to chop up, the faster I get them out, and Cobra Kai is going to probably come out in full. So I want to get it out as fast as possible, just because I want to watch it, and 2, I want to share it with you guys and talk about it. So that might be the case with Cobra Kai. I might literally get it out in my guess is I'm going to try to get the full season out in 1 week. So I'm going to watch them all, record them, and then throw them up on Patreon the first day or 2. And then after that, I hopefully could get them chopped up 1 or 2 a day, have them all out the first week. I'm probably still going to be quarantined at home, depending on when it comes out, because I'm pretty sure it's April, second week of April, and I'm pretty sure I'll still be in lockdown. The arcade, it's almost the 1st of April, and the arcade is closed for at least another 2 weeks, maybe longer. So we're going to have to see. Ashes to Ashes is a sequel. The American remake was just called Life on Mars as well. Okay, so Ashes to Ashes. And it has, maybe someone already said this, but let me just finish. I like season 3 of Ashes as much as season 2 of Life on Mars. It's difficult to explain Ashes without spoiling Life on Mars, but it's a sequel in a sense. It's basically a continue. Okay, then I'm not going to ask any questions. I was going to say, is it the same characters? But you're right. If you tell me it's the same characters, then it basically spoils who lives and dies. Like, if you say, yeah, Sam's in it, then I know Sam lives, and I don't want to know that in case something happens. So Interesting. Now that I'm very involved in Life on Mars and totally into it, I'm actually looking forward to it because I do really enjoy it. It's just such a different kind of show. It reminds me of like a Lost type show, but that just every episode just like they'll give you like a little bit and then it's self-contained. Like Lost did that occasionally, but then again they ended the show and they never answered 500 questions. So I don't mind it, but it's just I literally went into Life on Mars like this is an awesome premise, and I thought we were just gonna get nonstop answers. Like the next episode, you get an answer, and then something would happen, and then you'd like have to figure out the next thing, like Lost, like where it kept building. Like they every season they'd give you a couple answers, but then give you 10 more questions. This show basically just is giving you questions. The only answers it gave were at like the finale of season 1, and it was basically a self-contained episode that kind of touched on things that did happen in the show, but it's like the way the finale happened, they could have totally avoided it, and it still wouldn't have affected the end plot, at least that I think of so far. Maybe it does. I haven't seen the end yet, so maybe season 1's finale has a big deal to do with the end of season 2. But right now, I'm thinking it's kind of just its own thing. What is your rank out of all 8? It starts with Henry Cavill, Superman J. Henry Cavill, Superman J. I know what you're saying. It just sounded funny. Jay, I'm reading it right now, bud. I gotcha. Rank out of all 8. If I had to pick a worse one, my favorite ones in no order: Wonder Woman. I loved Aquaman. I did actually like Justice League, even though people rag on it. I didn't think it was the worst thing. I honestly am not a Superman fan, so I really didn't care for the original, whatever the hell, what was it called? What was the Henry Cavill Superman? Return to Superman? What was it called? I cannot remember what the Henry Cavill Superman is, but I'm just not a Superman fan. I'm more of a Batman fan, and they haven't had a Batman solo film in the new DCEU. Batman vs. Superman, honestly, none of them were bad. Suicide Squad might be my least favorite. I thought Batman Superman was good. Man of Steel. Thank you, Mr. Suicide Squad. Man of Steel. Honestly, nothing's wrong with it, but it might be Suicide Squad my worst. Man of Steel might be my second least favorite, just because I'm not a fan of Superman. And then I guess I don't even know where am I missing one. We got Man of Steel, Suicide Squad, Justice League, Batman, Superman, Aquaman, Wonder Woman. What am I missing? I'm missing some. I'm trying to think of what I'm missing. Batman, Superman, I don't know. I'm missing 2. But I've already told you in the past, Suicide Squad Kid. I've told you in the past, I'm not a huge DCU guy. I'm not a huge DC guy in general. I'm a Batman fan, love Batman, but everybody else I could kind of take or leave. Birds of Prey counts in the 8. Birds of Prey I actually thought was good. We talked about it before. Birds of Prey I thought was good. It's probably more at the top of my list. I probably would have it up in like my top 5 easily, maybe even my top 3. Wonder Woman, Aquaman, I don't know, maybe Birds of Prey would be up there. I really enjoyed it. It had a weird sense of humor, and a lot of people didn't like the comic bookiness of it all, but I thought it was good. Next year there will be, with Robert Pattinson and Colin Farrell, that's the new Batman. Definitely going to check it out in theaters if I'm allowed to with everybody else. I think it's pronounced Treme. What is Treme? Ray, what is that? I'm trying to remember. Oh, Treem? Is Treem pronounced Treme? Treme. It's got to be what you're talking about. Treme. I think that's what you're talking about. Next year there will be blah, blah, blah. Are you going to watch The Deuce eventually since you're doing the other? Steph, I definitely want The Deuce is on my list. I have literally like a list of 50 shows, and I try to rank them. The Deuce is somewhere in the middle. I'm definitely interested, but there are still like 5 or 10 shows that I haven't even started yet that I want to do first. I wanted to do Altered Carbon Season 2. I thought I'd be able to jump into it, but then Curb Your Enthusiasm and Westworld snuck up on me. My original plan was I was going to try to run out all the stuff I've been doing, do Altered Carbon, and then continue from there. And literally, I just totally forgot Westworld was jumping up on us. And then Curb Your Enthusiasm literally came out of nowhere. I remember watching Deadwood or something on HBO Go, and they had a commercial, and they're like, this Sunday, Curb Your Enthusiasm. I had no idea it was even coming out. So basically, I would be so caught up if it wasn't for new shows dropping all the time and new seasons coming out so quickly. Like, not that Westworld came out quick. Westworld took a long break, but that's probably why I dropped the ball on it and it snuck up on me. But Curb Your Enthusiasm, I'm not kidding. I didn't even know they were doing another Curb Your Enthusiasm. And it's one of my favorite comedy shows of all time. Easily top 10, maybe top 5. This season was phenomenal. Every episode great. They're obviously making another season because they're not going to end it the way they did. So can't wait for that too. But that was another one. I feel like they took 2 years between that too. So both those shows took huge hiatuses. And basically, that's why I've never reacted to them before. I'm excited for Suicide Squad 2021. Are you blah, blah, blah. Ralph Macchio is in The Deuce. He doesn't have a huge role, but actually does a really good job. It's different from what I've seen him do in the past. Really, I did not know that. The only other thing I've seen Ralph Macchio in that I could think of off the top of my head, besides The Outsiders with Ponyboy, yeah, Ponyboy, Stay Gold, Ponyboy, and Karate Kid, obviously, is Beer League with Artie Lang. I love how much of a pushover Ralph Macchio is in Beer League, and it is a guilty pleasure comedy for a Jersey guy. Like, I live in Jersey, grew up in Jersey my whole life. They go to the seaside boardwalk and stuff. The whole movie is filmed in Jersey, and they talk about all, like, the slum areas and stuff. So being from Jersey and growing up here my whole life, I am a fan of Beer League with Artie Lang. It is a hard movie to find, though. Even on torrent sites, you could find it, but it's really poor quality. Usually, like, rips from television or DVDs that are horribly scratched and stuff. But I happen to have it on Blu-ray because I am a lover of Jersey movies. That Curb season was as good as ever, in my opinion. I worry that they're getting too old to do another, though. We were talking about this, Jay Skills. And, for instance, Larry David is best friends with Richard Lewis. I think, actually, Jay Skills, I think you gave me this stat, that they're both 72, and Richard Lewis looks like he is the Crypt Keeper, where Larry David looks older, but he looks like he could still hold his own. He looks like a 70-year-old man, but he looks like a 70-year-old man that is in healthy, good shape, whereas Richard Lewis literally looks like at any minute he's going to drop dead, and they're the same age. But like you said, I was watching a comedy show that came, The Aristocrats. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it came out in like 2005, I think. It's 150 of the world's most famous comedians at the time. George Carlin was still around, a lot of other people, and they basically do a documentary on this joke called The Aristocrats, which is basically the most vile, perverted, raunchy joke ever told, and every guy has a crack at it. Larry David and people were in it, but it's like 20 years ago, so they looked so young. Susie, who plays Jeff's wife, was in this and did a rendition of it, and she was like actually hot. She actually looked very gorgeous. I was looking and I'm like, oh my God, I rag on Susie all the time about being like this little troll. She was hot 20 years ago. She was, I mean, I guess she's probably in her 70s too, but 20 years ago, she was actually really attractive. And I was like, I rag on her so much. Now I get why she sat in the pretty section during the ugly section and the pretty section. There's an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm where they literally seat you by how ugly or pretty you are. And Susie would always get the pretty section. And I literally would rant and freak out and say, how is this a thing? And now it kind of makes sense because Susie was a hottie. You mentioned Perverted. I don't like that stuff. Perverted? It's very, if you don't like Perverted, do not watch it. It is, I'm not kidding, it's the most raunchy, vile thing I've seen spoken. It's nothing visually vile. It is just one comedian after another, and their goal is to outdo the guy before, and by outdo, I mean be grosser. Their job is to be as gross and vile and raunchy as possible, And some comedians are like, I'm not even doing the joke because I'm afraid of what this will do for my career like 20 years from now. The funny thing is, it is 20 years from now because I think it came out around 2005. So it's probably 15, 20 years at this point. But there's so many famous people in it, and it didn't do anything to their careers. Like Paul Reiser does a really weird one, and he's in Stranger Things with children, so it didn't affect their careers. Paul Reiser's up there. Richard Lewis is looking like Abe Vigoda. J-Dub, did you say that in a comment one? Someone commented in one of the episodes and said the same thing. I'm wondering if that was you or if you've just made the same comment. Because someone said Abe Vigoda looked like that's what Richard Lewis looked like. Those of you who don't know, Abe Vigoda is most known for The Godfather. He was also the grandfather in Look Who's Talking. I believe it was Kirstie Alley's father in Look Who's Talking. He's also in a lot of other shit. But Abe Vigoda, most known for Godfather, and yes, Richard Lewis looks like him. I don't believe I made the comment before. Someone told me that comment. Maybe I'm insane, but maybe it wasn't even Richard Lewis, but someone made a comment comparing Abe Vigoda to someone, and the only one I could think of is Richard Lewis because there's no other show I watch that would have an elderly man that is that decrepit. I still couldn't have lived with her. Wait, I have to go back. Oh, My Cousin Vinny is what I always remembered. Oh my God, yes, Ralph Macchio. I've seen My Cousin Vinny. I've seen My Cousin Vinny 100 times, and I'm disgusted that I forgot that one. I knew Outsiders because they made us watch that in school, and it was a very emotionally charged movie for a 10-year-old. Lots of people dying. All-star cast, though. Emilio Estevez, Patrick Swayze, Tom Cruise, Matt Dillon, Ralph Macchio. I know there was more. I'm missing more. Who else was in it? Who was in the boy crew? There were so many famous guys in that movie. It was basically a boy movie, though. There wasn't a whole lot of girls. It was basically like a greaser group of boys that beat the tar out of each other. Oh God, that is the raunchiest movie ever. Yeah, Ray knows about Aristocrats. I keep saying cats, not the Disney movie. Way different. But is that the actor from Scrooged? Jay Skills, no. But that's what I'm thinking. That was him. Jay Skills, you are correct. Abe Vigoda was brought up for something else, but the comparison to Richard Lewis was the old guy from Scrooge, the boss that is dead that visits Bill Murray in the very beginning. That was what I was thinking of. But someone else did mention Abe Vigoda. I cannot remember why, but you are right, Jay Skills. Thank you. Rob Lowe was in it, I think. Oh, yes. Rob Lowe was one of the younger greasers in The Outsiders. Yeah, he was. Had to read The Outsiders for school. Swayze was in it. Yeah, that's right. Rob Lowe was really young. He was probably barely maybe even a teenager, but barely out of his teenage years, if so. But we got about 10 minutes, guys, before Westworld. Anybody want to chat it up about Westworld? Any theories? Anybody running with any kind of thoughts or whatever? Ray, did you even catch up yet? My brother, huge fan. I don't even know if you're caught up. You should have caught up by now. Being as we're quarantined, I would find it surprising if you haven't seen Westworld yet. But I haven't seen anybody talk about it. I'm wondering, in all honesty, based on the views I'm getting from the episodes I post, I'm hitting about 1,000 a week on those. But I feel like it doesn't have the same, oomph it had in the other seasons. I feel like people were freaking out about the show, season 1 and 2. And I feel like it's not a big deal. I don't hear anybody talk about it. I'm granted, I'm in lockdown, quarantined in my house, but I'm on the phone, I'm on YouTube, I'm on the social media all the time. No one really talking about Westworld. I don't understand. I've only seen season 1. No, I've been a bad boy. I haven't been watching the new season. Yeah, see, that's the norm. You guys, I'm the weird one for watching it, I guess. The norm that I found is no one I know that used to watch it is watching it right now. The people that did watch it season 2 kind of fell off halfway through season 2. A lot of people fell off and were like, yeah, I'm not into it anymore. So I don't think they jumped back on. But in all honesty, season 3 is starting off really good. Today is episode 3. There's only 10 episodes, so we're literally after tonight, we're almost to the mid-season of the show. So it goes by really fast when you only have 10 episodes. I'm used to like back in the day, Quantum Leap lost 23 episode seasons. It lasted half a year. Nowadays, you get 3 months if you're lucky, not even. 10 episodes is 2.5 months. So nowadays, you're lucky if you get 2.5 months of a show. I'm still on season 2 of Westworld, haven't caught up yet. J-Dub, if you feel it's slacking a little in the middle, it slows down a little in the early part of the middle of season 2. I'd say like episode 4, maybe 3. Around 3 or 4 of season 2, it kind of gets slow. But then by episode 6, it kind of jumps in full gear. And then 6, 7, 8, I feel like are phenomenal episodes. They answer a lot of questions. They tell us a lot about what's going on. They reveal a lot of things. The visuals and the acting is amazingly good. I definitely recommend you stick with it. I do admit, though, it gets a little slow in the middle. I've heard season 3 is much better so far. I'm loving it. But slight spoiler, if you want to call it that. It's not giving anything away huge. But so far, season 3, first 2 episodes, so far haven't tapped into Westworld at all. It's episode 1. I'll be flat out with you guys. Episode 1 was all about our world, or supposedly. I don't believe anything. People are saying, no, that's really our world. I don't believe it. So episode 1 was all about the new world that Earth is in the future, which is like, I don't know, 20 years from now, maybe more. And then episode 2 was all revolving around a separate world. The entire episode revolved around a separate world. So far, I'm on episode 3. We've barely even touched. They did talk about Westworld. We had flashes back to Westworld about little things. But they're basically really doing a lot of story building, and they're really making the world bigger and adding tons of new characters. Like, in all honesty, I can think of 5 characters you need to know from the first 2 seasons. The rest are all new, and it's like a whole new storyline. So I'm not going to tell you who those 5 are, but a lot of what we see in season 1 and 2 isn't even touched on yet in this season. I'm actually excited for it, just haven't gotten to it. But yeah, I highly recommend you guys catch up. My reactions, like I said, I didn't react to season 1 and 2. I watched it before I did reactions. So I can't really say much as far as watching my reactions, but it's a very good show. I think season 3 is only getting better. They're story building the shit out of this, so you don't know where it's going to go. And like I said, I don't trust anything. People keep writing. If you guys look at the comments for my first 2 episodes, I'll say like, yeah, like, we don't know if this is really our world. And people will get angry and be like, dude, what are you talking about? This is Earth. They've said it's Earth. I don't care if they said it. It's Earth 500 times. They told us 100 things 100 times over, and it's never real. And I don't want to give examples because I don't want to ruin it for people that are catching up. But Westworld could be anything. Just because they tell you something doesn't mean it's real. They have lied since season 1 about everything, every which way, to the robots, to the real people, to everything. So I don't care how many times they've confirmed something. Even if it's confirmed and I physically see it, I still don't trust it because it could be what is it? Not a symmetry, a simulation. It could be a simulation in a simulation in a simulation. This could be a simulation. I'm not even real. I'm talking to you guys about a simulated show in a simulation. I'm going to pick the first episode of Hell on Wheels for my April episode. Steph, that is a good one. I actually really like that. One of my friends is going to love you because since that show has aired, Hell on Wheels, since that show aired, I think it's FX. It's either FX or AMC. My friend loves that show. He's been trying to get me to watch it forever, and I love Westerns. Hence why I'm doing Deadwood. Hence why I'm doing Deadwood. I added Deadwood and Westwood together. Westworld. You guys get what I'm saying. I love Westerns. My friend's been trying to get me to watch Hell on Wheels forever, and it's one of those shows I just always forget about. It falls through the cracks. So I'll get on that, Steph. Thank you for letting me know in advance, because sometimes I get, especially nowadays, I get a lot of free time. I'll get that out fast, because I'm actually curious now, and I'm happy you chose that. Hell on Wheels. Interesting. And as you see, we're getting through. I do extra ones for people like Jay Skills. Jay Skills is probably the highest tier person in my Patreon. So we talk a lot. Not that he's my favorite amongst other people just because he's a higher tier, but because he subscribes and donates more money, I try to throw episodes that he likes out. So even though he didn't get his vote in for the exclusive of the month, that's why we got Inside Number 9. It was like something I actually was curious about, and he pitched it to me and said, no one's going to vote this too, but it's a really good show. You should check it out. And we seem to have similar tastes. So I jumped in it, and that's why it's on Patreon. But eventually I'll chop it up and put it on YouTube. But right now, that's a Patreon exclusive if you want Inside Number 9 and Life on Mars and Fringe. All those are exclusives for now. But eventually, when I catch up, they'll all be on. Never mind, just remembered you weren't on Patreon back then. Just read the synopsis of Westworld. Never seen it before, but sounds interesting. Do you have reactions for... Yeah, Jay Skills. I literally started Patreon January 28th of last year. So I've barely been in the game for a year and 2 months. But yeah, Westworld, I watched those as they aired, when they aired. So I've been waiting for 2 years for this season to come out. I thought it made it be a good choice since you're in the last season of Deadwood. Very good choice, Steph. Does anyone else react to that? Now that you mention it, I don't think I've seen any of the big reactors react to that. And it's an older show. I feel like, because the friend that recommended it to me moved away at least 3 years ago. And I remember for years before that, he was trying to get me to watch that show. So that's got to be an old show. And I remember it went on for a while, at least 4 seasons. I'm going to say there's 4 seasons based on what I remember him telling me. Might be more, might be less, but I feel like 4. I don't think I've seen anyone react to that show before. It'll be interesting to do then. I'm like, it's going to be Patreon at first anyway. But that's one of the shows I've actually wanted to do a full YouTube channel reaction to. The Shield, these are like the big ones I want to do, but I just can't start them until I get the time. Until I finish Deadwood and all the, I want to finish older shows I've never seen. The Shield, Better Call Saul are like 2 of the older, Better Call Saul is not even that old. Season 5 is ending or just ended recently. I really want to get on that because I did like Breaking Bad. I love Bob Odenkirk. I love him. Ever since Mr. Show, David Cross days, I love Bob Odenkirk. So I really want to get into Better Call Saul, but I wanted to finish The Shield first. That's a really old one that is like 5, 6, maybe 7 seasons long. I feel like it's 5 or 6, but maybe even 7. But there's so many older shows that every time I finish an older show, I kind of want to throw another one in just so I don't get caught up in new shit and get left behind. Like right now I'm doing Misfits, which is pretty old, Deadwood, which is like 20 years old maybe at this point, maybe 15 years. And I already finished The Wire. There's all these shows that I remember hearing about growing up and I want to catch up. Even stuff like Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel. I've never seen them. I remember hearing about them in middle school and high school, and that's when Dawson's Creek and 90210 and all that was around. I never seen it. So I definitely want to get into but that's another one. Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel, if you combine them, it's got to be over a dozen seasons. So I'm like, it's a big commitment, but eventually it'll get there. It's just, I'm still new to the game in my mind. Looks like there's 5 seasons. Forrest Whitaker and Anthony Anderson had a great guest roles on The Shield. Really? I didn't know Anthony Anderson was in it. I think I remember Forrest Whitaker being on a box cover or something. But on that note, guys, I didn't realize it's 9 o'clock. I'm going to go. Don't forget The Boys. Ray, I'm definitely The Boys, just in case anyone wants to know. The Boys, I'm going to do when season 2 gets announced. That's my plan because I'm so behind on everything else. I still want to do The Witcher. I still got to finish Watchmen. I'm on episode 3 of Watchmen, Patreon exclusive right now, but it will be on YouTube. But The Boys, I'm so far behind, and a Cobra Kai's coming, and Westworld started, and everything else. I'm going to wait till The Boys gets announced for season 2. I'm going to run my season 1 reactions into the start of season 2. That way, at least, I can catch a following running into the new season because I just don't have enough time to start that show with everything else. Cobra Kai's coming. Barry's starting again soon. I'm all done with Barry. I just got 1 more episode for YouTube, and I'm all caught up. Patreon was caught up months ago. YouTube's got the finale left, and I'm all caught up. And then Barry's going to start. I held off for a week on the last episode because I was behind on everything else, and I wanted to catch up on other things. And Barry's done after the next episode. But this week, Barry will be done, and Barry's got to be starting in the next month or so. So the boys will be coming when season 2 comes. Everything else will come accordingly, but I will get on other stuff. I just got to catch up. But on that note, I'm going to cut it there, guys, because it's a minute after 9. I want to jump in, react. Patreon people, if you want all the Westworld episodes for season 3, 1, 2, and 3 when I'm done after this, will be up in full unedited. You guys know that if you're Patreon. So if you're caught up and you're waiting to watch season 3, go on Patreon, watch it with me. If not, they're chopped up the next day on YouTube. Just you out of like an hour. Put it this way. The first episode was an hour and 10 minutes. I only got it up in 3 parts. So I think it was like 25 minutes of the show is actually on. So you're missing 45 to 50 minutes of the show. So on that note, just going to call it later, y'all. Love the unedited stuff. Ha, ha, ha. Good to see you. Yeah, like the Slarg. You see a lot of funny stuff when I do the unedited stuff. Ow. I don't try to hold anything back. I'm always myself. I don't try to be a character or do anything, over the top. Sometimes I'm drunk. Sometimes I'm high. Sometimes I'm doing God knows what else. And I do funny reactions. And I figure, why edit those things out? If you guys want to see full reactions, you want to see me act like a goof, then have at it. But Daniel D, Ray, the Slarg, J Skills, J Dubs, Steph, whoever else I may have missed. I think I got you all because it looks like we thinned out when I said I was going to call it. But if I missed somebody, I apologize. It was good to talk to you guys. I will do live streams starting like this was the first one. I just wanted to get this out to kind of like touch base with you guys, say hi. But this week I'll post something where we'll talk. Like I said, I want to do a talk about new movies. I've watched so many new movies, and I kind of threw this up like 2 hours ago. I did a notification. So I'll see you guys soon. I'll give you like more notice. Maybe this Friday I'll do something, and I'll give you like a couple days notice so you guys could jump on. But you guys will see me in a couple hours, like 2 hours. Episode 3 of Westworld will be on Patreon. I will see you guys on the next one. Thanks for doing live stream. We've missed it. I'll see you guys soon on the next live stream. Peace. Boop, boop, boop.